With the huge amount of phone that's currently in the market, it's quite hard for casual consumer to choose the right phone for them. And if you are a casual consumer, your default option will either go for an iPhone or a Samsung. Huawei is definitely out of the option because of the lack of Google services. But I really hope this gets reversed in the future. I know everyone lives in the US and don't think Huawei is a threat. But that's another topic for another time. Sorry, slightly out of topic. Let's get back to choosing the right phone for you. Previously, I recommend most consumers that prioritize best price to performance ratio should get the Poco F2 Pro, which is a sub-brand of Xiaomi. Review in the links description below. But if you look at the worldwide smartphone market share as of September of 2020, Oppo is placed at number 5, right behind Xiaomi. So, since I reviewed the Poco F2 Pro, which is a sub-brand of a Xiaomi, in this video, I will be going to walk you through my 10 months of experience with the Realme X2 Pro, which is under the Oppo brand. Let's go! I have been using this phone for the past 10 months, switching back and forth with other phones that I'm currently testing. And here are some of my thoughts on it. Since it was released back in December of 2019 in Malaysia, it does not support the latest and greatest Snapdragon 865 or 865 Plus that we know and love now. Instead, this phone used the second best, the Snapdragon 855 Plus, which in itself is very impressive. The model I have supports a 12GB of RAM, way too overkill in my opinion, and I don't think anyone can fully utilize it. It is just for show and bragging right. And 256GB of storage. With this kind of specification, everything currently available in the Play Store will run without breaking a sweat. Games like Mobile Legends run smoothly without dropping any frame, but this is to be expected for most modern phones in 2020. High refresh rate display is slowly becoming a norm in 2020 smartphone, and interacting with the 90Hz display in Realme X2 Pro is smooth and enjoy to use. And pairing with the Snapdragon 855 Plus, no lag whatsoever. By now, you might notice a teardrop notch in the middle of the screen instead of a punch hole or a motorized front-facing camera, but I start to slowly ignore it after a few days of using it. Still in the topic of display, this 6.5-inch 1080p Super AMOLED display with a max brightness of 1000 nits. With this, you can expect great color in HDR content while saving some battery if you're using dark mode or a dark wallpaper. As this is a full screen smartphone, it includes an under-display optical fingerprint sensor. The performance of it is okay, especially if you put an extra screen protector on top of it. But oh well, better than nothing, right? There was some time that it couldn't recognize my fingerprint, and I opted to use a password in order to unlock it. When this event happened, I rather Realme put a fingerprint sensor at the back and on the side of the phone. But oh well. This phone sports a 4000 mAh battery and is not quite on par with some Flagship in 2020. But the screen time I get from this is quite impressive. I'm able to get a day of battery with quite a lot of YouTube and gaming. And if you game quite a lot, and I mean a lot, and use up all the battery in the middle of the day, you're in luck. With the included 50W charger, you didn't hear it wrong, 50W. This will juice up your phone from 0 to 100 in just a mere 35 minutes. Very impressive. But with this insane fast charging, it comes with a price. And that's a hit. The phone gets quite warm during the charging, and I generally don't advise using the phone while charging. Just give yourself some time to do some exercise in the meantime while waiting it. Now, let's talk about the quad camera at the back of the phone. It sports a 64MP main shooter, an 8MP ultra-wide camera, a 13MP telephoto lens, and a 2MP depth sensing camera. This kind of quad camera setup is no longer unique in 2020, as most of the mid-range phones have a similar setup. But how do this camera performs? Let's see. The photo quality produces a fairly good detail and low noise using the 2x optical zoom camera. And for everyday photo shooting is possible, and I don't think casual user will have any complaint on the camera department. As for the video, it's able to shoot at 4K, which is not a huge fence to pass. But without optical image stabilization, you will need to have a steady hand to get a smooth shot. As there are only one configuration officially available in Malaysia, and that's the 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage, this won't be considered a true flagship killer in our country. But the point still stands. Realme is surely rising up to be a candidate for a flagship killer. So if the company maintains this direction, I think we will surely have an extra viable choice when getting our next smartphone upgrade. And that's it. That's my thought and my small review after 10 months of using this device. Like and subscribe if you find my content helpful. Thanks for watching. Ciao!